Week 3 and we're back into it. Goodness gracious, do I have my voice back? We'll just find out, especially after our Saturday night, but we'll get there in a moment. Anyways, we're back to it because we're here enjoying the awful. That is what this month's topic is all about. And most likely wrapping up today because this is a lot to reflect on as well. Because I know that I've had to go through this kind of healing in order to get to this part of the climb and be part of this kind of roller coaster. I swear. Plus, this week, between one thing and another, I have talked to the doctors again like 5 times, which is actually not that surprising. And it's definitely a blessing because even though when we do have health issues and they're annoying and tiresome, and you're dealing with so many feelings internally, thoroughly, between, and everything else, it's also like I'm getting the best care I can get. I'm taking care of myself. I am talking to them actively, constantly in order to get better. So that is definitely a blessing as in of itself. I've been taking care of myself and it feels so freaking gorgeous, building and creating my own legacy while I'm able to express myself and move through lives in the best way I can. Did I really just say lives like in plural? That is definitely my subconscious speaking because goodness gracious. Between the full moon and my witchy self and breaking generational trauma and just feeling the past lives breaking free, there's a reason why I probably said lives. Okay, so let's dive in. Remember the hard times. Like in some weird way, it is another way to force myself to remember the hard times. I like forgiving, I like forgetting, I like protecting my peace. And when I mean forgetting, I mean fully, like a whole new hard drive, a whole new cassette, a new single, whatever it is that you want to right here, insert in this blank space to fully grasp that is a refresh of forgetting. I delete everything. I just stick to the positive because that's how I wired my brain after all the trauma and all the struggles and XYZ and of course all the therapy sessions alongside with it. It's like, this is the best way I can to make sure that with me, myself, and I start fresh. So it has helped a whole lot with being present. Like that is 100% for sure. With being present, with being here, even though at times it's still very difficult, it has helped me be more present. Anyways, so the point being of this particular thing is by embracing the awful, hugging it and letting it go, we can still honor it. Let me talk about my personal case. I'm so freaking hard on myself, time and time again. You thought that I was going to say freaking proud of myself, right? I also am freaking proud of myself each and every day more and more. But overall, right now, I just want to state that I'm really, really hard on myself. So as I learn to unlearn that system within me, because I really need to learn this lesson as soon as possible, once again, because this roller coaster of a ride is definitely not fun, not even a little bit, not even at all. Being hard on myself, goodness gracious me. As far as my health goes, a lot of feelings that came up here were questions such as like, why didn't I start even, why didn't I start eating even healthier beforehand? How come I didn't maintain the gym? Why did I let myself go up and down and throughout this chaos throughout the past few years? Like, how did I make myself or let myself, feel those things and go through the harshness of life when I had the power to stop it all? You know what I mean? But then, because once again, everything's a process and a progress in life, and I do believe in therapy, my therapist and even loved ones, they hit me with a reminder, which is all the logical reasons why those cases didn't happen, as well as to let go of the what ifs too, because neither is useful nor truthful. Because as a result of this, it really means to remember the hard, to really be more kind to yourself, as well as giving yourself a lot more credit and to really appreciate the good, whatever form it may come as. Letting go of disappointment is also huge because it's also made me realize that I've uncovered my truth this way through this actual struggle. Because for the longest amount of time, I was super hard on myself, right? And I was focused simply on the things that I didn't do, the things I didn't achieve, the things that I was like completely just thinking by the time I was this age, or by the time I have this opportunity, or by the time I would do XYZ. We got to remember that just because we have reached a certain age, or we have reached a certain status, or we've done a certain thing, doesn't mean that all the other things are going to line alongside with it, because that's simply not the way life works. And we got to, not only be okay with this, but also remind ourselves, especially in today's society, and especially the way that we've been set up to just be go, go, go all the time. So letting go of that disappointment also means okay, you didn't get to do this, or you didn't get to do that. Well, why don't we focus and we embrace the awful and those hard times and find the logical reasons behind this, but at the same time, obviously shift focus to what is actually good and the stuff that you did do, because that's where you need more credit. And once again, I truly believe that this is a different, a side tangent that I can go on of actually giving yourself credit. But as we are right now talking about embracing the awful, I gotta think about it in this way as well, which is the following, because it's a really good therapy question, is how do I make sure that I remember the hard times I'm going through right now? And not in a negative, Debbie Downer kind of way, but more so of what is the logical steps I have right now that aren't helping me achieve my dreams, and I have to be okay with, because that's just the way life works with the embracing the awful, For example, with me, my living situation is the challenge, and there's limited space. So when it comes to eating healthier, I have to be kind to myself, kinder to myself, since I only have a select amount of space. In the same category, I've got to remember about the economy overall. It's not just a matter of myself going through a rough patch, it's an overall rough moment for most of us right now. And remember this, instead of being so hard on myself time and time again, is really key to embracing the awful. Health-wise is something that we got to leave the how did it happen in the past, not because it isn't important, it's because it's already dealt with. I've got to remember the hard times that made me the person I am today, for good or for bad, and give myself grace. What can I do now to find ways to overcome the bad, instead of making my own self feel super mad at myself once again, of why didn't I walk 20K every day? Because my health and my schedule didn't allow that. I've got to embrace all the things that I did do. This past week was all about restoring the balance both in my heart and my physical life. That's also a lot thanks to Cobra Kai that just came out. Talking about balance, that word was thrown around a lot. And another word was thrown around a lot, but that is a spoiler, so we'll wait until the world has caught up with Cobra Kai. Anyways, so not only thanks to lighter work schedule, but I was also recovering from a very strong cold, volunteering, and even changing shifts. I realized that my body was needing a lot more rest time than I'd given myself credit for. So as I celebrated really amazing health news, I also relaxed and rested and recovered while doing so. Not everything has to be celebrated, but moving our bodies times a million. There's a reason why the word balance exists, and we gotta take advantage of that. This also came with mental clarity because once again, I'm feeling less and less guilty and even more aligned with my true purpose as I take everything one step at a time and one moment at a time. This serves as a reminder that I am where I need to be and I'm doing the very best I can. It may not look like someone else's life or not me having a wild and hot summer. It looks like calmness among the heat, a happy beat to my step, a classroom full of laughter, a home full of love, a journal filled up with courageous thoughts, therapy sessions that do make my life easier, and a whole lot more confidence all around. And this is my kind of roller coaster, and this one this week has been smooth sailing among the unknown. Even with the rapid life changes of having to stay more time at home than I thought, it feels just right, some way, somehow. It was so nice and cozy. Missing out on Pride events this year was not in my cards, but I'm feeling all right by it because I did what was right for me, and this is the only way I can continue to show up. Now, of course, a humongous shout out to Ricky Martin, another concert in the books, and what a show, what a mighty, mighty show. His hits filled my heart with so much inner love, and seeing him perform live and having a non-stop smiling is such a rewarding feeling. Having gone with a partner once more hand in hand celebrating life and seeing our wins come to life makes everything else seem completely worth it. So yeah, pretty much this week once more, I've had to cancel plans, adjust sails, and get off this very fast roller coaster that my body's clearly not ready for. And that's okay, because this is what embracing the awful looks like. And I come to you in this video, in every way I can, and everywhere I can, expressing myself and my inner thoughts out loud and making sure that you also remember that we're all going through it, that you're not alone. The purpose of this is to share hard moments as well as the good ones, because that's what life is about. It's that balance. And literally just this week, I was talking to my students who were and are still teenagers, of course. They haven't time traveled as far as I know, but you never know with life. Anyways, we're talking about social media and the people that they follow. And usually it's a happy-go-lucky kind of life. And I love being happy-go-lucky. Believe me, that's a word that I've always used to express myself and describe myself since literally as long as I can remember. That's probably why it's on my vocabulary list. Anyways, they see these positive lives and they go to these events and do these trips and XYZ and everything's so good. And I'm like, don't they share the negative side too? And they're like, no, they really don't. And if that's not a life reminder to also share the negative side of life and not, once again, to be depressing or anything like that, more so of like, dude, life's hard. Life is awful. However, together with therapy and realizing that, you got to embrace the awful with the good, life is worth it. And life has a bunch of wonderful, positive things. But I don't know. What I was trying to tell them and tell you right now is simply by sharing your life, whether that's online or off, the good and the bad in between, the world does become a lot more kinder and we do better with mental illness. And that's what I'm using my voice for. That's what I'm using my platform for. And once again, that is what I mean when it comes to enjoying the awful. Thank you for tuning in another week more. This is just the start of a whole new lifestyle roller coaster. I just know it. So keep on coming. Keep the questions, comments, and love and shares coming because I appreciate you. Thank you for tuning in. Let's do this. Here comes another week of a roller coaster ride. Hug tighter, love stronger, always believe. You know where to find me, as well as the Always Blur podcast and all my other social medias. Thank you so much for listening. Please let me know your thoughts down below. See you later, Barbie. Bye.